In 6th grade, I started dating this girl, let's just call her Jamie. From the very beginning, mine and Jamie's relationship was a very strange one. First off, Jamie was the one that asked me out, which really goes against society's norms where the guy should ask the girl out. But even in that case, she wasn't really the one that asked me out. One day I was at lunch and one of her friends comes up to me and goes, "Hey." And I'm like, "Hey." And she goes, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And she goes, "Hey, you see that girl over there? That's Jamie. She wants to know if you want to go out with her." And so I look in the general direction in which she's pointing, and I see the girl, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm cool, but maybe ask the guys in the cafeteria going for seconds. But then she's like, "No, not that girl, and points to a more healthy looking girl a little way over. When I see the girl she's actually talking about, I recognize her as the girl in class who's always staring at me. And so in my head, I'm like, sweet. And so I tell her, yeah, fine, I'm down with that. And that's how we started dating. From that point on, I was basically the coolest kid in the 6th grade because I was the only one with a girlfriend. So I felt like the shit. But it wasn't all rainbows and sunshines, if we're going to be honest. Me and Jamie had some issues that we never really overcame. For one, I was way too scared to ever talk to her. Whenever I got around her, I would just start to sweat really bad, and I would just start to choke. And it would go something like, which isn't really the best conversation starter, but keep in mind, I'm 11, this is my first girlfriend, so I'm not really sure what to do at this point. Luckily though, I had some pretty good wingmen, and they would always try to hook me up. So whenever it was lunchtime, they would kind of force us to sit next to each other, and we would just kind of sit there in an awkward silence, but we would be enjoying each other's presence. I mean, none of us really said that, but you know, I kind of got that vibe. But honestly, that was kind of a normal thing for our relationship because we were both way too scared to talk to each other, so we kind of just relied on other people to communicate with each other. The only time we would ever make direct contact with each other was on the internet, and that was through Myspace. If any of you used Myspace back then, you know that just going on the website gave your computer like 100,000 viruses, so you tried not to use it. Our parents tried to keep us away from it, but in the dead of night, we would sneak on and talk to each other. And honestly, it was great. We would sweet talk each other, we would call each other names. I called her baby girl, and she called me baby boo. And then after that, we kind of just mixed a bunch of adjectives together to express how we felt about each other. And as an 11-year-old, this was probably the greatest moments of my life because I was talking to a girl, maybe not face to face, but it was happening. As time went on though, I kind of got the sense that our conversations online weren't really enough for her and weren't really making the cut. I mean, she didn't ever say that, but you know, I kind of just got that vibe. Around the 4-month mark of our relationship, another couple sprung up, and we'll just call them Jasmine and Russell. That was honestly their names, but I mean, what are the chances they're ever going to see this? I was actually really cool with Jasmine and Russell, so whenever they would be on the phone, they would always add me to the conversation and we would have a nice three-way. Anyways, so we would have three-way phone calls, and one day they were talking, and Jasmine says to Russell, "Hey Russell, we should kiss tomorrow." And Russell was like, "Yeah, we should." And I'm just sitting on the other line, and I'm thinking to myself, sweet. Fast forward to the next day, everybody knows that they're supposed to kiss, and when the time comes down to it, they both chicken out. They're both like, "I can't do this, we're gonna have to do this another day." Later that night, all three of us are on the phone again, and Jasmine says to Russell, "Hey Russell, we should kiss tomorrow." And Russell's like, "Yeah, I'm down." And I'm on the other line like, okay, that's what they said last time, but we gotta make sure they do it this time. So I say to them, "Look, you guys chickened out, so this is what we're going to do. If you guys don't kiss tomorrow, you guys have to break up." Now, I know this seems pretty drastic. It's just a first kiss, but I'm just trying to be a good friend and make sure they both get what they want. So they hear my idea, and they're both like, "Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm down for that." Now, this is the part where everything gets kind of crazy. So the next day comes, we're in PE. Everybody is circled around them. Right when it's about to happen, this boy Russell goes, "I can't do it. I can't do it. We're going to have to break up." Somebody in the crowd goes, "Wait, why are you guys going to break up?" And then Russell goes, "We're going to break up because Platypus said we had to." So now everybody's turned towards me in a circle, looking at me with this intense hatred. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, "Russell, what the fuck? You're such a vagina for that." For the rest of the day after that, people are just coming up to me talking mad shit. Platypus, what's your problem? Why did you make them break up? Platypus, what the fuck? You should have just let them go on at their own pace. Ching chang chong, chung chang, math and pot stickers. We just kind of needed an Asian guy in there. To top it all off, Jamie comes up to me, and for the first time in our whole relationship, she speaks to me. And she goes, "You're a real jackass for that, Platypus," and walks away. This was honestly one of the worst days of my life as an 11-year-old. I really don't remember having a worse day. I just kind of remember sitting there thinking to myself, man, everybody hates me. Is this how black people feel? By the time I get home that night, Jamie's words are still echoing loud in my mind, so I decide to message her on Myspace to clear the air. I message her and say, "Hey, I'm sorry for what happened earlier. I hope you don't hate me. Are you gonna break up with me?" I wait up about an hour to see if she's gonna reply, and after an hour, I don't get a reply, so I just decide to take my loss and just go to bed, and maybe everything will be better in the morning. The next morning, I get to school, and it's like nothing ever happened the day before. Everybody's talking to me, my friends are friends with me again, nobody's talking shit to me. And what's even better is Jamie is sitting right next to me at lunch, still not talking to me, so it's business as usual. So in my head, I'm thinking to myself, cool, I'm off the hook, it was just a bad day, we can move on from here. Fast forward to a month later, I log back on to MySpace, okay? Keep in mind, this is a month later. I check my messages, and 20 minutes before, Jamie sent me a message. I open the message and it says, "Yes, sorry." A month later, she says, "Yes, sorry." I was just sitting there in complete disbelief that she took a whole month, 4 weeks, 30 days. I'm not even sure how many hours that is, but 30 days to reply back and say, "Yes, sorry." 2 words, not even, "Yeah, I'm breaking up with you. I'm sorry, we can still be friends." It is literally just, "Yes, sorry." So at this point, it's one of the worst days of my life. I remember thinking to myself, do I really have anything else to live for? And then I hop on my GameCube and I forget about everything. The worst part of it all was the next day when I went to school, the word got out, and another word got out that Jamie was dating a guy named Paul. So, I hope you guys are happy.